everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today is all about how to reduce your golf handicap and some of my easy tips on how to do so. This is something that gets asked to me all the time, so I'm so excited to take you through. Before we get started, if you could do me one favour, it takes 2 seconds to do. Hit that subscribe button and turn your notifications on. It all helps, so thank you so much. Right, let's get into it. Okay, so lowering your handicap. It's a very frustrating part of the game and a question that I get asked a lot. There's hundreds of ways to reduce your handicap, but again, I'm going to talk you through a few of the main points which I think get overlooked and are things that you should consider within your golf game. Number one is course management. Before we even step on the course or the hole we're about to play, we must map out what we've got in front of us. Before we even pick up a club, we've got to check it out and understand and process it before we can even select the club. Okay, so what we've got in front of us, we've got 136 yards to the flag. We have got tee blocks on every tee as well, so you'll find there's yardage on there for the tee that you're playing from. So 136 yards. Okay, so I know my 7-iron will get me there, but my 7-iron carries the whole way to 136 yards. So look at the flag. The flag is at the back. If I hit my 7-iron, it's going to go way too far. Where I'm going to go one less of a club, which is going to land me a little bit shorter, and it's going to roll up to the hole. So I'm going to go 8-iron. And then from there, understanding the miss. So if I go left, the ball's lost. Whereas if I go to the right, there's still some open fairway. However, I've got bunkers either side of the green. So ideally, again, looking at the flag position, the flag is tucked under the left, behind the left bunker. So I want to go just right of the green. So I'm picking a club which I know it's not going to go too far, it's not going to go too short. And then I'm checking for danger. As I said, left is bad, right is good. Why course management is so important, and one reason why it gets overlooked is because when we get to a hole, we compare ourselves with our playing partners. We just assume that we're going to hit it straight every time. But as we know, golf's a hard game and we can't guarantee where the ball's going to go. So mapping out the hole, picking the right club, it just really helps us prepare mentally, slows us down, and if we do hit a bad shot, it's not going to end up in there because we've prepared ourselves. In the process of course management, really visualise how you want the ball to fly. Again, I think this is something that isn't spoken about enough, whereas if you're constantly thinking of the bad stuff, get rid of that just before you hit the ball. So you've spotted the danger. As you're over the ball, visualise how you want the ball to fly. Again, we've picked that the right-hand side is good. Imagine the ball flying there and then get ready to hit. One of the biggest mistakes I see in the lack of course management is, again, fail to prepare for the hole. You get angry when you hit a bad shot, then you go and hit even more bad shots, your handicap's going to increase. So if you can reduce that kind of stress and, emotions inside, play your own game, you're going to get a better chance of getting it on the green, reducing those shots and reducing your handicap. Perfect. So just right hand side of the green, at the front, exactly where I plan to go. Again, I've not gone left, I've not gone into any of the bunkers, it's exactly where I aim. So I've landed here, and that leads me to my next point. I know a lot of golfers would grab the 60-degree wedge, they'd grab something that pops up high, just because they see the playing partners doing it or they see the players on the telly doing it, which, great. If you can pull that shot off, perfect. But it requires a lot of practice and it's quite risky because from here, I know I've not got much green to work with at the back of this flag. If I hit a bad shot with this, it's going to thin all the way through the green. So I'm going to ditch the 60-degree wedge and I'm going to grab my 8-iron. So I'm going to play a bump and run or even like a lofted putt technique, which I know if I hit a bad shot with this, it's going to be a lot better than a bad shot with my lob wedge. So how I'm playing this, I'm going to imagine this is going to land about halfway between me and the flag. It's going to roll like a putt, so it's going to roll low. The risk is not very high, okay? So if I hit a bad shot, I know it's going to end up pretty close to the hole. So standing nice and close to the ball, I'm playing this like a putt, and I've not got as much pressure as I would with the lob wedge. It it went in. What does that say? Whereas if I would have hit a lob wedge from there, it would have been a very snappy kind of shot. If I would have hit it thin, it's through there. Whereas if I would have duffed it, it'd have been just in front of me. So like I say, don't compare yourself to other players that you're playing with and try and make it easy for yourself. It's a hard game. We don't need to overcomplicate it. So get creative with your shots. You don't need to pop it up high, and the risk is a lot lower than if you thinned a 60-degree wedge. My final easy and overlooked tip is all about setup and posture and how you can hit better golf shots without even thinking of your technique or making a swing change. Now we're on the next tee, mapped out the hole, we've decided where we're going to go, where the goods and the bads are, and now we want to think about setup. So setup with your club must be consistent every time. And I think with things like body alignment and even how you address the ball position wise, if you're doing that inconsistent, then it's gonna have a massive impact. And again, that's something that gets super overlooked because we all assume that we're aiming in the right direction, and a lot of golfers think it doesn't make much difference. But I'm telling you now, that will make more difference than a poor technique. Okay, so I've got plenty of videos on my channels of setup, posture, and going into a lot more detail. If there are certain ones that you want to look at, head onto my channel. There's plenty on there for you, but I'm just going to talk you through the main things really that I need you to consider. Again, it's going to be quick, easy for you to take out onto the golf course. So again, we've mapped out the hole. Next one being the grip. We've got to make sure we've got that neutral grip every time. Second thing is the distance away from the ball in relation to the club you're using. So I'm using a driver, I need to stand further away. Next thing is body alignment. So body alignment, we need to make sure we're aligned parallel to our target. Again, a lot of people aim the feet and the shoulders in different directions. If we can neutralize that down with a nice neutral grip, then we're going to have a good chance of hitting the ball far. And the final thing is ball position. Again, with our driver, this needs to be different as it is with our irons. So you need to make sure you're changing these things in relation to the club that we're using. Okay, so that's how you can approach the ball to hit better shots without even thinking of the technique. I felt good. So use these on the course and I'm certain it's going to be taking shots off your handicap. If you took some value from that video, make sure you hit subscribe, press the like button. All the links to my social media and Patreon are down in the description. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.